All right, what's up, Money Grows on Trees Facebook group members? I'm here with none other than the man, the myth, the legend, AJ. What's up, man? Thanks for jumping on with us.
Hey, Lloyd, how are you?
I'm dynamic, and you're good too because you're on holidays.
I am day one of holidays. So it's going to be. I hope it's going to be good. We got 10 weeks off, so it's amazing.
10 weeks. Holy smokes! And you guys are going to Europe.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be good.
It is going to be good. But you're just telling me just before we went live that you've got on your holidays, and the first day of your holidays, you're working on your side gig.
Yeah. Yeah, it's you got to get it in. I've got a wife, 3 kids, so you got to use the time where it's available to you. And that's what I'm doing this morning.
Doesn't really feel like the work though, does it?
No, it's not work when you love it.
That's right. Yeah. So we'll come to that. We'll talk to you, but I wanted to get AJ on here because he and his wife Christina have been with the program since the start of the year, the 5 Steps to Millions. And he's had they've had some great wins, and he's had some wonderful wins already. And we've still got the rest of the year to go to work together. So, mate, I wanted to bring you on here and just ask you a few questions, see if we can inspire a few others, or maybe help them get a bit unstuck too with your stories. So, let me ask you this. This is AJ's first one of these, by the way. So give him some encouragement if you see. Leave us a comment or a question below. But mate, tell us, what was life like before we started working together?
I think the best way to put it is that a lot of things were either too hard or seemed out of reach. This holiday that we're going on before we started working together would have seemed out of reach, and that's just not from myself, but from my wife's perspective, Christina. The things that we've learnt through the mentorship have enabled us to be open-minded, to think differently, to be able to take different approaches, and to be more agile with what we do and how we do it.
How good's that? So a real paradigm shift in your mindset as to what is possible, what you can create, what you can, pay off, what you can invest. I mean, I've seen all that happen with you guys, but okay, so you didn't really believe maybe that things were possible. So let me ask you this question. What made you decide to make a change?
Well, look, I think for us overall, it was we felt like we were on a roundabout. We were going around the motions. We would, you'd have windfalls and in cash flow, and the money would disappear, and we were really on a roundabout. And Christina was the one who introduced myself to your book, and we both read it, and obviously going through the mentorship at the same time. But it was how do we get off this roundabout?
Yeah, the old hamster wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you just get a bit worn out. You just think, you know what, if we continue doing this, then what's going to change? So you took massive action. You both took bold action, and you invested in yourselves. And I think that's really what people, when you invest in a mentor, you are investing in a mentor, knowledge, accelerating your success, all their nuances and cheat codes and things that they have, right? But you're really making an investment in yourself, saying, hey, we're serious about making a change. This is how serious we are. And would you agree that it gets you off your ass to do different things?
Yeah, it does. It does. It turns your ideas in, it's turning the ideas into action. Whether that's a dream or whether that idea leads to your dream, it's actioning that. And it's, like you said, through paying for that proximity, it is, it's really not reinventing the wheel. It's looking at what others have done, how they do it, and doing it. Like it's, it seems simple, because like you've told us so many times, it's learning from those who have already done it.
Yeah, modeling success. Very, very good pickup. And you guys have done that, so you're doing it so well. And I love it. And I still remember our first discovery call together, when we were talking about, you've just progressed so much, both of you, but like, it's just been wild to watch. And so my question to you next is really what's life like now? So what things have you achieved since starting and what's happening now?
Look, I've got a couple of achievements, as you know, but I think one of the biggest is we paid off close to $5,000 worth of debt in February, which was amazing. We would never have dreamed of doing that, and that was at the start of our journey. We began investing, so got close to $5,000 worth of investments now. 6 months in. Which is awesome for us. We never would have dreamed of that. We've leveled up in both of our side hustles. So through reading, through learning, I've been able to increase my income through a side hustle that I already had. And value stacking that, which is just getting it's snowballing at the moment. I've had 3-4 people approach me already around consulting and around sessions and around working together. So it's enabled me to actually to do that. And I know that with Christina and your mentorship, whenever she needs to level up and whenever she needs to think differently, those conversations with yourself and that mentoring by yourself just skyrockets that.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I've done the exact same thing, and I've told people, I mentioned it in my book, that this is how I did it too. It's not like it's just been invented, but mentorship is that. It's a perspective and it's knowledge and it's experience that you get single-handedly bang into exactly the problem you need to solve. So what I love about your story is that when we first did our discovery call, and also, by the way, well done on paying the debt off, well done on investing and building your assets, and well done on creating this new paradigm. It's just awesome. But I love the success you've had also in getting clarity around your side gig, building this second income in your spare time that you already had when we started. But I remember on the discovery call, you were a little bit confused as to where to go. Like, should I spend my time here, or here? What do you think? And I feel like what you've achieved is absolute clarity now about where you're going.
Yeah, it has, and sometimes it's having that conversation to really understand, what your way is, forward, what the best way is forward, and you're right, from the discovery call, going, what's a side hustle, right? And what's worse is I've been side hustling for 7 years, right? And I'd never seen it that way. It was just like, okay, I'll go and do these, these sessions and this consulting, and then I bring home a little bit of extra cash. So, we never really thought about scaling that up until this mentorship.
Wow, that's epic, man. It's so good. And we've just, what I feel is exciting for you, and I'm just going to speak it into you, is that you're going to free yourself from your job. Now, thankfully, we're in a Facebook group where no bosses can watch, but it's really going to happen, and I see it, and it just brings me so much joy to know that you're going to do it together. And with Christina, you guys have got the hustle, the passion, the drive, and the vision. And now I just really feel that you've got it, and it's really not taken that long to get to where you are. Frankly, like it's been months. It's not even.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you're right. It's amazing. It's what, and we've already done. We've gone through everything. We've done the budgeting. We've done. We constantly do budgeting. We constantly look at things like, right, what's it going to cost to be financially free for us? Yeah. What's it going to, what's our next step in this journey now? It's how do we level up? What's the best way forward? Yep. Now that we've got that clarity.
Yeah, definitely. And I think too, throughout the mentorship, like what I find is that because with mentorship, the mentor's been through a path that you're going through, it's really easy to identify the obstacle, the constraint required to get to that next level. And so what we often talk about is particular books to read. And people think that just reading a book is, it's great. But really what it's about is identifying the constraint and the problem and then saying, this book's going to help you solve that, change your paradigm. So we've done that a couple of times together with a particular couple of books. And I know that's really helped you. Have you got any comments to make around that part of the mentorship?
I think educate then implement, like that, and that's what, and these books are all, it's crazy. Like, it is literally crazy talk that these books aren't taught in schools. One of the biggest travesties of our education system is that they're not included in our education, because it just makes sense, and it makes sense when when you are facing that issue, and then and then you read the book and you go, right, I'm going to go and do that. And you do it, and it just flows, and it happens, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, those referrals to books, that education, anybody can, and I think anybody can just go, oh, well, here's the answer. But you don't grow that way. You don't learn. There's more in that book than here's the answer.
Yeah. And you can do it quite quickly too, because you know the constraint, the problem. You go away and you solve it. You're back, you've got a new problem. And the idea of success is finding bigger problems to solve, because that's how you make more money.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really good. Well, look, I think it's been great. So my only question to you now, mate, is what would be your advice to others, looking back to where you started only at the beginning of the year? What would you tell other people who are kind of like in the group? There's 1,800 in this group, or reading the book, or not doing anything. What would be your advice to them?
If you haven't started, start. I remember a saying from when we first started. And this is more around investing than the mentorship, but it applies. It applies in the mentorship. And the best time to start was 30 years ago. The next best time is now. Obviously, I couldn't have started when I was 3. I'm only 33 this year, but I do say to Christina, mate, I do say to her all the time is, I wish I had this knowledge when I was 18. I wish I had this knowledge when I left school. So if you haven't started, start today. Start by picking up, one of Lloyd's books, or any of one of the books that Lloyd passes on to you, because it's only going to benefit you going forward.
Yeah, definitely, man. Awesome. Well, I agree 100%. And that's what we're trying to do here, right? Like, we're trying to provide the education around money, finance, investing, mindset, mentorship, business, side hustles, creating money. We're trying to do all that and fill the gap that school didn't fill for us. And that's what I'm doing here. Like this, I want to make this the ultimate financial coaching and financial education experience that people can do for 12 months. And for the same price as a university subject for 12 months, I think it's wonderful what we're trying to create. So I want to thank you for being a part of it, and being in the foundation group of people that's helped bring it to life. So you've been a part of that, and you're getting tremendous results because of it. So, man, I just want to say congratulations on everything you've achieved. It's just awesome. You deserve it. And flipping heck, I don't know what you're going to create in the next 5 years, but these principles, man, are going to just see you just go to the moon. It's going to be awesome.
I've got 18 hours on a plane from tomorrow night, so we'll see. We'll see how much I can learn over that 18 hours. It's going to be good.
It's going to be awesome. Well, look, mate, have a safe trip, and thanks again for giving us your success story in the group. And I'll see you on the mentoring call later today.
Will do. Thanks, Lloyd.
See you, mate.